Richard Rellis here with columnist Bob Robb, and you get into a lot in this column about Ducey's education proposals. You firstly say that he doesn't get the credit you think he deserves for his education funding, mainly because it sounds like the way he has been brought to spending it. But you also bring up an issue with how he has plans to get kids up to speed who maybe have fallen behind because of COVID. What do you think should be the plan for that?
Well, I do think that he has not gotten sufficient credit. Some of what he has done has occurred under outside political pressure, but not all of it. And at the bottom line is what has education funding done, and it has increased substantially under his watch. I also think that he is correctly focused at the current moment in trying to figure out how to get kids caught up for the learning that they've lost as schools have struggled to provide instruction in a COVID environment. I don't think that he's come up with the right answer. He just wants a generalized grant that goes out to schools based upon their low-income populations mostly. And I think it has to be very directly targeted. You need to have assessments that determine what specific deficiencies in reading and math kids have, and in essence provide more like a tutoring program than general summer school for everybody, and an exit assessment to ensure that the money that you spent indeed got the kids caught up. We really need to have a more granular focus on what has been lost in this year and a half of schooling that occurred remotely in order to serve the kids.
Yeah, and if I can, it sounds like what you're saying, just correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you will, that it's not necessarily that districts did a bad job and need to catch up their students, but that there might be individual students in all manner of types of districts that might need specific tutoring to get back up to speed.
I do not blame the schools at all. And even though I've not favored lockdowns generally, I've also not favored requiring people to do things that make them uncomfortable. So I am not one who believes that the schools are to be blamed for not inviting all the kids back, and teachers are to be blamed for not wanting to put themselves at risk. But the consequence has been lost learning opportunities. We owe it to those kids to do what we can to catch them up for what was nobody's fault. And I don't think a general program of, gee, send low-income kids to summer school gets the job done. You've got to find out what, for individual students, their deficiencies are, and figure out how to get them up to speed before we open schools, hopefully normally, come the fall, or if optimistically, perhaps later on in the spring.
Yeah, money following the student, which is kind of the mantra of Ducey and some of that education choice proponent anyway. There's a lot in this column on education policy. We just covered a small sliver of it, but good to hear from you, Bob.
You bet.